Ep2, and I have a special guest today, Miss Kyra Watson.
Hi guys.
This is my girl, my sister in Christ. She is here today, and today's topic is called the art of rejection. So, you know, we're human beings. We all face rejection in life, and it doesn't always feel good. It can come in different forms, whether it's from relationships, platonic or romantic, whether it's family member relationships, whether it's, you know, something you're trying to go after and, you know, job-wise, and you can get rejected. So, Kyra, have you faced any rejection, or what kind of rejection have you faced in your life, and how did it shape you, honestly?
What kind of rejection? Honestly, the question is, what haven't I experienced? I mean, I think you hit the nail on all of them. Relationships, you know, job, school, all of it. I mean, been there, done that.
Okay, so how did it make you feel when you went through the rejection? Let's say a job. We're gonna start with a job.
So easy. Job wise, I mean, obviously it didn't feel good, do you know what I'm saying? But like, I was like, okay, I know my value, you know, I know what I can bring to the table, so maybe that just wasn't for me. Like, you know, God was steering me in a different direction. So it's like, okay, what's next? Like, let me try again. I'm the type of person, I don't stop until I, like, you know, get what I'm going after, hit the goal, all of that. So it's just one of those things of like, okay, like, you know, it took a sting to the ego a little bit, because it's like, what were y'all looking for? Right. But there's 1,000,001 jobs. So
it is.
I mean, we gonna find the right place somewhere, you know?
I feel like with jobs though, you could get, I feel like with rejection in general, like you can get rejected from something, and it always, to me, it doesn't always mean that it's a no. It just could be not right now.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like when we get denied of something, the opportunity could show back up again.
Yeah.
Because that's happened to me before. Like, I applied for a job and I didn't get it right then and there, like I thought I needed to, and I went with something else, but then it circled back around, and it's like, okay, I guess this is the time that I need to do it.
Yeah.
So, in that era, how do you handle rejections in relationships?
Besides the crying and, you know, just feeling very like down, depressed, all of that, you know, because I think one of the main things, and especially as women, like we always do well, was it me? You know, like what did I do wrong? What did I not do something, you know, right or whatever? And so I will say that I'm one of those people that goes to that like mindset as soon as it happens. Like, you know, was I not good enough? Was I, you know, was it my appearance? Like, I will nitpick every little thing that I did to see, you know, what was it? Was it me? And it literally took me some time to figure out, like, Kyra, it's time in therapy, let me say it like that. Kyra, it's not you. Sometimes it's them. And, you know, it's just one of those things of, I had to work through that. And I would say it took a couple, you know, the first few relationships you're in, you're like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but like, it's gotta be me, you know, immature thinking. But as like I got older, and like I said, going through therapy, it's like, no. Sometimes people can project their own traumas onto you, you know, and
that is true. Gaslighting
is real, other stuff is real. So, you know, people carry trauma as well. So it's not always, you know, you. So
I feel the same. Like, I feel with relationships are tough. Like,
talk about it.
Especially when you're with someone that you really like or you really have interest in, and it's like they reject, you know, you. And like you said, it does make you feel like, well, I'm not good enough, or what did I do wrong, or is it me? And honestly, that's like a internal thing within ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, we should be confident enough to say, well, no, it's probably not me. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
Like some things we just have to look at. I feel as though like it's just not for me.
Yeah.
And if it went south, then it went south.
Yeah.
Like, and God has something better. Even though that's cliche, people always say, you know, what the rejection is God's protection, which it is. And when one door closes, He'll open another one and give you something better, which it does. But at that time, you were just like, I don't want to hear that right now.
Yeah.
I want this person right here, right now.
But you gotta work through it.
And you gotta get your power back. Because honestly, I feel like you're giving your power to that person when you let them make you feel bad about yourself.
Yes.
Like when you feel insecure about yourself, which everyone has insecurities.
Yeah.
Like, that's a normal thing. We're all human beings. But you really like can't let nobody take control of your emotions, honestly. But rejection it sucks.
It's terrible.
It sucks.
But I think that was a good point. Like you said, power, and immediately I was like, ooh, worth. Like I'm not gonna sit here and put my value and my worth into somebody's hands. Like they're not God, you know? And they're only one person out of millions and billions of people on this earth. And if that's what they want to think about me, okay, that's what they think about me. But I'm not gonna put my worth into somebody's hands like that.
Yeah.
You know, somebody who also mistreated me or, you know, didn't see the full value. Yeah. So, you know, and it just depends. Like people want to pick apart, and you know, like I said, everybody carries their trauma. So it's like we try and pick apart other people's traumas or other people's, you know, things, and it's just like, no, we gotta understand. So I like that you said that, like, I'm not gonna give somebody the power over me like that.
I had to learn that. Honestly, I had to learn that. I had to go through that because, like you said, it was just hard. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not good enough? Why doesn't he like me? Whatever. And then it's just like, wait a minute, I'm me. Like, there's nobody that can be me. Yeah. Like, it's only one me. It's only one you. Yeah. And it's like, I have gifts, I have talents, I have all these things. And it's just like I'm that girl. I'm that girl.
And somebody is gonna see that. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody is gonna see, somebody's gonna see who you are for who you are, and like and accept all the things that come with you. So I think it's just one of those things of not taking your power back, you know, especially if you feel like you gave them your power, but also seeing at the end of the tunnel that your worth and your value and your power really only lies in one hand, and that's the hand of God. Like, facts. Nobody can tell you, you know what I mean? Like,
we need a fact. Yeah. We need a fact side.
Like, come on. Like, if anything, I'm gonna love myself and you know all of that. But I'm gonna also I think I'm also in a season of let me love God, you know, even more than like somebody else. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, let me find that relationship with Him, and then also too, just digging deeper into, like I said, therapy, just figuring out, working on myself, you know, so that any of the relationship traumas that I have been through, when the right one comes, I'm not projecting it on and, you know, self-sabotaging. I'm really good at self-sabotaging. So facts. Can we get the facts? Yeah, like I will sit here and, you know, I'm like, you too good to be true. So let me like nitpick or find something.
It's the worst thing we can do for ourselves. It is the worst thing we can do to ourselves. Like, and I don't like it. And that's why I agree with you. Like, therapy is just so important because it's like people don't really know that they have trauma in them. They don't even realize that they feel like the situations that they go through is not trauma. They feel like it's normal. Yeah. And it's just like, no, the smallest thing can be a sense of trauma, of rejection. And honestly, rejection happens when we in our parents, in our mother's womb. Yeah. Because think about it. Your mom's pregnant with you and you know, the dad might not be on board. He might not want a kid right now, or they might not be like that. They might not be married, or they might not be in a relationship. Mm-hmm. So that's rejection right there, because you're trying to figure out if you want to keep this baby or not, or if you want to you know, take other measures into your own hands. So that right there, you're born into rejection.
Yeah.
So it's like that spirit falls on you, and then you going through life, and then, you know, people are rejecting you, and because they don't understand you.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but you got to remember that you're fearfully and wonderfully made. You're set apart, you're different, but we don't know that as young people, as kids. So it starts there. Like, if your parents rejected you just from being in your mom's womb because your parents weren't together, or they didn't have a good situation, that latches on to you, and it carries.
Yeah.
It could carry throughout your life until you break it. Like, you have to break the curse. Like, honestly, a lot of the stuff that gets on us is like spirits, and we have to break these things because it's coming from a family lineage.
Yeah.
Lines of rejection.
Yeah.
You know, your mom was rejected, your grandma was rejected, your great grandma was rejected. Even those simple things, it's just like it passes down.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like now I'm here because I'm trying to break all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to get my generation to break all that stuff off because it's just tearing us apart, honestly. It's tearing us apart.
Really is.
Rejection and abandonment, we're gonna get into that. That's another conversation. Rejection, though, and abandonment and trauma, all those things play a part in how we function right now as adults. Like, it is just crazy. Like, I'm seeing it for what it is. Now that, you know, my eyes are open and I really just been spending time with God, it's just like, wow, like, we really got some deep-rooted stuff we need to work on. I feel like everybody needs to go to therapy.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
Believe it or not, I believe in therapy and Jesus, okay?
Yeah.
So, yeah, those go hand in hand, but I feel like everyone needs to go to therapy because it's like, you gotta dig and uproot all that stuff, all that garbage that's in you, because everything nowadays is trauma-led.
Yeah.
We're trauma bonding with people,
Yeah.
then we're rejecting people, and that's putting more pain onto people.
Everybody's for themselves.
Yes.
It's so annoying and frustrating.
Selfish.
And it's like giving very like, I notice nowadays relationships are more transactional of like, what can you do for me type thing, and that is like, it's a trauma response because it's like, it's almost like a survival of the fittest, or, you know, just trying to, you know, use my survival skills out here and get whatever I need from whoever I need it from, no matter what like their feelings are, and that completely, it's hard because especially when you're dealing like with relationships, people don't realize y'all are dealing with real people.
Right.
You're dealing with real feelings, real things, you know, and so I do feel like this generation, like our generation, is more like outspoken and trying to, you know, break those generational curses, but at the same time, it's kind of like a selfish mentality behind it of everybody for themselves without any regard to anybody's feelings or, you know, just.
We have to change that. Like, we have to get on the ball of like being considerate. Like, the highest act of love is consideration. Like, you are considerate of your other person. You are considerate of their feelings, of their actions. Your actions affect them. It's just like, relationships can't be transactional, honestly, because it's gonna go downhill. It's not gonna last. It's not gonna be successful. Everybody talks about they want to have a successful marriage and successful this, but it's not gonna last if you were built on crap. Like, you were built on toxicity. Like, and it's just like,
you have to have compassion for other people.
You have to. And I'm learning that.
My therapist will literally preach that, you know, to me all the time. She's like, okay, are you showing the same compassion to yourself that you show other people, and vice versa? Like, compassion, because at the end of the day, like, we are our worst critics. We're so hard on ourselves and we're so hard on other people. But where is the compassion at? For like you said, consideration, just for the fact that, you know, somebody maybe like was raised different than you. You know, somebody might have been, who knows? Like, we just come from all different backgrounds. So like, just be considerate and compassionate of like other people's feelings, and like, I'm not saying you have to be a yes man to everything, you know, or be a doormat. But yeah, you can definitely have boundaries, but you can definitely also be emotionally available.
Yeah, and that's the worst. I know, like, whew, you said a mouthful, because honestly, I've been working on being compassionate, because I was just like, I thought I was compassionate though. I thought I was, but one day God was like, you need to show compassion. Like, your heart's getting hard. And I'm like, well, how? Because I don't really do anything.
Okay.
But I do come off sometimes as like, I don't care. Like, okay, I don't care. But it's like, I don't know. I can't explain it, but it's just like, I don't let it affect me. So it's just like, I have to have that I don't care mindset to protect me. And that's what I thought I was doing. But he was just like, no, your heart's getting hard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I don't want my heart to get hard, but it's hard because people be hurting my feelings. So what am I supposed to do? Like, how am I supposed to guard my heart? They always say guard your heart.
Yeah.
And then you try to do that, and then when you know, have a friend or a relationship or whatever, and that person hurts your feelings, it's just like, okay, that hurt, and I don't want to feel that hurt.
I think it's more so like, it's funny we're talking about this, because I deal with this all the time, like sitting with the emotion but not letting it like drive. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sitting with it and also dealing with it, because if I'm being honest, when I first went into therapy, she was like, you're dealing with a lot of anger, and I'm like, sis, what are you talking about? Like, I'm not angry. And she was like, your heart is just so, like, your heart is starting to harden. And I'm like, but anger though? Like, what you mean by anger? And so we had to take it like session by session and really break that stuff down. And when it came out, I was like, oh yeah. I'm angry about a lot of things.
Anger can stem from rejection.
Yeah, and so I'm just like, I'm like, oh, okay. And so then it was like, okay, now you know the emotion, you know what it feels like, even though it's been buried deep for so long. I feel like we just have to deal with those emotions and really like sit with them. You can sit with them, but not let them have the front seat, like, you know, driver's seat.
And that's what I have to get better at, is just like feeling. I had to learn how to feel. Like, I didn't want to feel. I was always running from the feel. Because when you face the feel, it's like, it's real and it hits hard. Like, I recently went through that, and it's just like, oh my gosh, all these emotions that I'm feeling right now, I don't know how to process them. I don't know what to do with them. But I was like, I gotta feel it. But sometimes I get stuck in feeling that. And it's like, how am I gonna get out of this? Because I can't stay here for too long. It's gonna drive me into another place. But you see how rejection push you in one place, you get rejected, then you go down the hole. Some people go into depression, some people go into suicidal thoughts. Like, it's just really a hard thing to process. But at the end, you have to look at it, certain situations, not all, that it could just be a not right now time. God might not be saying no. He could be saying no, or he could be saying not right now. Because sometimes we try to jump before God. We try to get ahead of him. We think we know what we're supposed to do, and we try to do what we want to do, and he like, hold up, pause, step on brakes. I got this. This is my will for your life, not your will. And that's the thing, like, we have to surrender our will for his will, because it could be that situation could be a yes, that job, that relationship, that friendship. It could be a yes, but it's just not at this time. He has the perfect timing. He knows the perfect time for stuff that's gonna flourish. Sometimes he gotta move people out the way. Sometimes people gotta experience stuff first before they get to you. They have to experience like other relationships before you, other whatever that they're going through in their life. They have to experience things before they get to you. So it's like, that's why it's like we can't jump in front of God, because we'll set ourselves up, and that we kind of be hurting ourselves.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
I was gonna say
Like,
we do.
We kind of be hurting ourselves because
God will literally give you a clear no, like stop, and it's like,
but your flesh be like,
let me try one more time. Maybe you were wrong about that. Let me go ahead.
Never wrong.
Yeah, I was
never
like,
wrong.
Let me try that one more time, and then it's like, okay, go ahead and try it, and then that be the one thing that like the straw that breaks the camel's back, and they'd be like, oh.
And then you think about it, you mess everything up.
Yeah,
you mess up the process
because we can only see like the right now. He can see further, way further, and so it's just trusting. And I will say that has been a hard process, is really trusting. And I'm the type of person that I will have a plan A, B, C, D, all the way to Z, like for something. You know what I'm saying? I'm like pre-planned. I'm gonna figure this out. If this way doesn't work, I'm gonna try it this way. And I realized I was doing a whole lot of like self-reliance and really just
because that comes into too being an independent person, independent woman, like people like to call it. You're raised a certain way, and your mom was like teaching you stuff. This is how you do, plan this out, do
don't
this.
Quit.
So it's like when you find God and you gotta trust Him. That's a hard process. Of letting go of control. Letting go of control. And I say with rejection, when it's not for you, He's gonna show you all the signs that it's not for you.
Every red, purple, black, every color.
You can't be ignoring the red flags. You cannot ignore the red flags.
Don't
stop ignoring the red flags.
Don't ignore the red flags.
Stop ignoring the red flags, because
take it from me.
We're gonna fall on our faces
every time,
and then we have to crawl out of the hole
every time.
So we need to stop.
And be weeping and crying.
Be weeping and crying, bawling.
Okay, but God said, I showed multiple times, and you still was like, oh, let me go dip my toe in the pool again.
You didn't listen to me. So He gotta let you, all right. He let you go. And then we go crying back.
You right. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. And then we gotta get into the whole repentance and
everything.
It's funny.
But it's lessons that we gotta learn.
Yeah.
Like, it's lessons. And then another thing is like when you have to unlearn so much stuff, it is so hard to unlearn bad habits.
Yeah.
Because mind you, we've been doing bad habits since 20 years of bad habits.
Yeah.
And to some people, rejection could look like, oh, this person dismissing me, but I'm gonna accept the challenge. I'm gonna get them to be with me, or I'm gonna make them be my friend, or I'm gonna force this relationship, and that can be detrimental.
Or I'm gonna be petty. And you hurt me, so let me hurt you.
Get your lick
and
back.
That's the worst.
Don't get your lick back.
That is the worst.
Don't get your lick back. Your lick back is only gonna hurt you in the long run. It's not even worth it.
No,
it's not worth it. But
and you can put yourself in such a traumatic experience from that look back that it's like,
girl,
how can I climb out of this one?
Exactly.
Because now I done sat here and went from like being good with God at point A to like falling all the way off. And then you look back and it's like, well, how did I get here? But at the same time, it's like, no, you wanted that look back.
Right.
That's how you got here.
Yeah.
That can be detrimental, very detrimental. Like, I'm not a look back type person. I've thought about it.
Not anymore. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not no more.
I've thought about it.
At first, I was like, I'm gonna get my look back. He thinks he got one up on me. I'm about to. Two can play that game.
But see, I tried that, but like I care too much.
I do too.
I'm like,
I have a heart.
This ain't for me.
I do care, but I was the worst. I was a grudge holder, and I wanted revenge. That was my issue.
In my head, I be wanting. In my can, but then when I actually try to go do it, I'm like all bark no bite.
No,
like
I wanted you to feel the hurt that you gave me. I wanted you to feel it.
Now I will say that yes, like I'm in that mindset of like, yeah, I want you to hurt as much as I do,
Yeah.
but to actually like act on it,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I can't do that.
I
Like,
acted on it.
I'm a chicken. I can't.
But it only hurt me in the end.
Yeah.
And it did hurt other people too, like
Yeah.
the people that I had involved. And I'm so glad I've grown from that stage. I'm not a grudge holder anymore. I'm not a revengeful person anymore, because what? Vengeance is the Lord's, not mine.
Okay.
So, but in that era, in that space and time, I wanted you to feel what I felt. Like, I wanted you to hurt like I hurt, because I did care.
Yeah. I think everybody gets to that point of like, I want you to feel how I felt. I want you to hurt just as bad. I've done that before. But then like, because of where my relationship with God was at, I then changed my prayer to like, because I told my therapist, I was like, girl, I want him to hurt. Like, I want it. Like, what is that SpongeBob meme? Like, I want it.
Right.
No, I wanted it. And then I was like, so you gonna really do that? Like, is that really what, walking in Christ looks like,
Right.
And I kind of had to like sit back and be like, you know what? Okay, I'm sorry. That was just my flesh,
Yeah.
Of course, saying I'm hurt. I feel, just used and just all of that. And now I'm like, okay, let me change up the tune of that. God showed them themselves.
Yeah.
Show them themselves. That's what I want you to do. Like, reveal it to them what they did. And then eventually, once I had that prayer, and I said it every morning, like, when I say every morning, I mean like, God, I'm over here battling like really, really bad with, I'm an overthinker. So I constantly, like, with my anxiety, I literally will like stay up and overthink like stuff. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or think about a situation for
Same.
too long, to the point where it will like, I guess you could say, kind of like go into my day and just ruin it. And so that's where I was at with it. And then I was just like, you know what, God, reveal the situation to them, reveal them to themselves. Not fully like I forgive them, but like help me with my forgiveness. Help me, with my hurt, and also reveal anything to me, about anything that happened that I didn't see while I was in the midst of it,
And our mistakes.
Yeah,
and
like
our role
like
that we
yeah,
played in
yes. And number one for me, it was like I ignored you. I ignored, your red flags, even though you were waving them like really, really big and really loud, like, hey, look at me. I ignored them. So like, I had to go into a repentant stage. And then it was, I prayed that prayer every day. And then out of nowhere, I was like, just keep revealing it to them out of nowhere, because I did no contact for, like, I was very adamant when I'm not going to contact.
Stood on business.
It was hard. It was so hard, but I was like, I'm not going to do any contact, at all. Like, I'm not going to go back to this person. I'm not. And then out of nowhere, I got an apology, and I said, Lord, that's all I asked for, was an apology.
Right.
And I cried to my therapist with all days in and days out. I cried to her. I said, I just want him to know what he did, apologize. And then it just came. Right. And I was like, I had to sit back and be like, wow, Lord, you really do hear prayers. Right. And so that just felt really good. But I will say, like, with that rejection, if somebody is, if you're in that stage of like, I want vengeance will be mine. Like I said, I'm a all bark, no bite. So I want the vengeance in my head, but then it's like, all right, I'm not gonna act on it. Yeah. But I'll just truly say, like, if that's your mindset, ask God, like, reveal it to them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, reveal, like, you deal with them. You deal with them however you see fit. And I don't even mean that in a bad way.
Right.
I'm just deal with them.
Yeah. I like that though. Like, I could agree with that, because sometimes it's them, and they can't see themselves.
Yeah.
And you can see them, you can see through them. And also, when you said about getting an apology, yeah, sometimes you'll get an apology, but sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
And how do you got to deal with that, not getting an apology, and you still got to move on and heal from that, even without an apology.
Yeah.
You may get one, you may not.
People,
and I've been in situations where I didn't get one.
Yeah.
And I had to still forgive. I had to still move forward. I had to still, work through it. And I didn't get an apology.
Yeah.
But I forgive them.
Yeah.
And it's out of my heart. I have no malice. I have no vengeance. I have nothing wishing bad on anybody. It's just all life experiences.
Yeah.
Like rejection is God's protection.
Okay.
For one. And rejection could be a not right now.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you on my timing.
Yeah.
When the time is right. He has perfect timing.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great.
But even if that's not it, it's like it's gonna be okay. I have something better.
Yeah.
You're gonna like this better.
Yeah.
You're gonna like this job better. You're
Yeah.
gonna like this person better. This person is the person I want you to be with because your purpose is with this person.
Yeah. Yeah.
We gotta be more purpose driven when we're looking into who to mate with, who to find companionship with. Because if they're not supposed to be a part of our purpose, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Just because of who we are.
Yeah.
I know because of who I am. God has protected me from so many red flags, even though I was boohoo crying and like, oh my God, like I liked him and da 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 da. He like, no daughter,
Yeah.
I have something special, better for you, because where I'm taking you, this person is able to handle it. This person is gonna understand. This person is gonna help you grow. This person is gonna have your back. This person is gonna hold you down. This person is going to build you up. This person is going to include me in y'all's plan, because he has to be the foundation of our relationship.
And also whoever that is, and this could be just relationships, friends, whoever.
Anybody.
Literally, you're not gonna have to change for them.
No.
That's
But I feel like
in a way that like you deviate from who you are.
Okay.
Change in the midst of change is a good change, maturing change, godly change. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean. Like you're not gonna have to. Those changes cool, but like I'm gonna just put it out. Like if I like my favorite snack over here, but say they don't like it, you know what I'm saying? At least they gonna accept me for who I am. You know what I'm saying? And give me my snack. You know what I'm saying? Even though they ain't nasty as always, like I'm still like. So that's like that was the only way I could think of it. But like literally, you're not gonna have to change who you are to like please them. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that's the biggest
stuff down.
Or like say, oh, it's okay. Like I'm not gonna partake in some of these things that I enjoy or the gifts that God gave me because you don't like something. I don't have to answer to you. You're not the creator. You know what I'm saying? And so if it's something godly, that God gave me, you should actually embrace that and help me grow in that gift. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna have to change it for somebody. But then also too, I was thinking while you were saying like, it's a reason why God is, not having you in the chapter that you're in. Literally, God gave me like separation for preparation. Cause it's like people don't realize, and I say this even to like you said before, rejection can take place in a job, friendships, family, relationships, whatever it may be, school, whatever it may be, and it's just like God says, like, I'm separating you to prepare you for what I have, which is better than anything you could ever think or imagine. So it's just one of those things of, stay the course, honestly. Like, it's hard, but if you really, really, like, after dealing with the rejection or dealing with whatever it was, if you can really just work on yourself.
Yeah.
And not like we said, we went through the process of belittling ourselves and like, you know, right, we was in the churches. So I hope like that some people, you know, don't do that. If you don't, then
and I feel like going back to what you said, the person that, you know, you're supposed to be with, whether it's friend, relationship, whatever, they're supposed to make you want to be a better person.
Yeah.
Like, because they're in your life, you want to do better. They push you. They don't have to actually push you to do better, but you just want to do better because of who you're around.
Yeah.
The energy that this person carries and the stature of a person and this mindset of a person makes you want to be better. Like, oh, I got to get on my stuff. I got to, you know, figure out these business plans. I gotta go back to school and get this degree or whatever, or I just gotta get closer to God. And I feel like too, if you're not with somebody that's not pushing you closer to God, then it ain't for you. And that's not always gonna be like, that's not always gonna look like, you know, oh, I just love God and, you know, everything is happy-go-lucky. No, sometimes it could look like this person is doing something that you don't like and you're getting pushed closer to God. Like, God, okay, what is this flaw that this person, because we all have flaws. We all have flaws. But it's like two different people coming from two different worlds, whether it's friends or whatever. We're all coming from different walks of life. And it's like that person should push you towards God to where it's like, okay, God, help me maneuver through this. This is right for me. How do I work through this? And help me to love this person. Help me to, you know, accept this person with their flaws. Because somebody got to accept you for your flaws. So it's like, you can't be so, you know, and I'm guilty of it. Sometimes, like, I see one little thing, I'm out. Like, I don't have time. But it's just like, okay, but what I'm sending you, you might have to deal with some things. You might have to deal with some flaws, and you even might have to deal with some rejection in your healthy situation. Whether it's friends, family, whatever, you might have to deal with rejection. So it's like we got to get to that root of rejection and uplift and getting it out, because you're gonna face rejection every day in life, and it's like you can't let rejection take you off course and put you in a place of depression, or put you in a place of you don't want to trust anybody, or put you in a place of, you know, all ain't, you know, or all women ain't, because dudes too, like guys too, like sometimes guys get in these toxic situations and they get rejected. I mean, it's all of us. It's not just a female thing, it's both sides. And honestly, well, in this day and age, it's scary for the men, because it's like they can't take rejection very well. They be ready to shoot you. You gotta give a fake number. It's real dangerous out here. And I just pray to God, like, that doesn't find me. And, you know, that person heals from that, because that's unhealthy for you to be so stern on not you you being so keen on being rejected, and then it makes you want to hurt a person. Like, it makes you want to shoot somebody. It makes you want to follow a person. I done seen so many videos of women being followed in the store,
or even just degraded on like social media or something like that, which social media is
crazy. Now, that's another conversation for another day.
But like, even just like the fact that you think it's okay to disrespect somebody, and this goes for men or women, disrespect somebody all across the internet and like smear their name. Like, you know, like what gives us the right, you know, to think that that's okay? And I mean, you're not doing. People in the moment just don't think about what they're doing. You could be costing somebody their livelihood, their job, their family, or whatever. And it's just like, think, y'all. Think before you act.
Think before we act.
Like, I get it.
And it's a maturity thing. It's a maturity thing. When you're immature, you act out of emotions. You say the first thing that comes out of your mind. I've been there. You say the first thing that comes to your mind because you're so keen on hitting that person below the belt because they didn't hit you below the belt. And it's just like, no, grown up me now
Yeah.
has to think before I speak.
Yeah.
I have to figure out if what I say is going to damage our relationship.
Yeah.
If what I say is going to make you not trust me anymore, or make you feel like this is how I really think about you. Because honestly, so as a man thinks, so he is. So it's just like, we gotta be careful with our thoughts too. Like, you know you love this person, care for this person, so we can't let our thoughts overtake us because this person made us mad in that moment.
Yeah.
Because it's just a moment.
Yeah.
Like, it's not forever.
Yeah.
So it's just like, we have to balance all of that. Like,
I love what you said, that it's just a moment, not forever. I literally, when I was going through like all of my stages of rejection, I literally just kept telling myself like, this is just a moment. It is not gonna last forever. So the uncomfortable feelings and all of that, it's not gonna last. Like, you just gotta get over this little hump, you know.
You gotta get through to get to.
Okay. Yeah.
Get through to get to.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. No.
And then get through is real.
Yeah.
But it I feel like in that process though, it shows you who you really are.
Yeah. And it allows you that moment to say like, this is what I will or will not accept any longer. And I feel like from there, like when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, and enough is enough, when enough is enough, you will literally like start to set boundaries in all aspects of your life where it's like, regardless, I don't care who you are, you're not going to talk to me this way, you're not going to disrespect me this way, you're going to, you know what I mean? Like, you just start to set like boundaries for yourself. And I feel like when you're going through and you start to get to that point where it's like, this is what I am and I'm not going to tolerate, or you going to come out of that mamma jamma.
Right.
It's like,
the glow up is going to be
real. It's like, okay, now I know who I am. Yeah, you shook me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, I know who I am. I have my power back. I know my worth. I know my value. And it wasn't diminished because of this one person. And now here's what I am, and I'm not going to tolerate.
Right.
And I'm going to stand on that and be flat-footed on that and be grounded in that and know that at the end of the day, like, I'm again, like I keep saying, I'm not gonna put my worth and my value into anybody but God. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's the only person.
And at the end of the day, the day gotta end.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, life goes on.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, like this topic, honestly, this topic just came from something I was going through.
Yeah.
And I was going through it. And I couldn't really talk about it because I'm going through it.
Yeah.
And I'm still not ready to talk about it. I gotta wait till I get healed to talk about it.
Same.
But in the midst of me going through, it was just like God was opening my eyes, like, you know, you're dealing with some rejection. Rejection, it could make or break you.
Yeah.
And if you're not strong enough in Him, in me, He's like, if you're not strong enough in me, you're gonna slip away.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no, I can't slip away. And then He just started showing me like where rejection stems from. How does it make you feel? Those emotions that come up, you know, the bitterness, the anger, the rage. And I felt all of those things.
Yeah.
And I was literally an emotional whirlwind, pretty much. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, this is how it feels to go through these things, because I went through things, but it's like I never got a chance to really process them. I was just the type of push to the back of my mind and whatever. But now that I have to sit and face things, it's just like, oh my God, this is what, and then it gave me compassion too of this is what people be going through.
Yeah.
I would never laugh at nobody else's pain because this does not feel good. It feels crazy.
Yeah.
And I be seeing people go through the craziest thing, and I would never laugh at another woman's pain. I would never laugh at anybody else's pain, because it's like, it could be you.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't want nobody laughing at you.
Yeah.
And that's where the compassion comes in, because it's like, put yourself in that person's shoes.
Yeah.
And it's like, I have so much compassion for, this is why I kind of, like, why I started this, because I have compassion. I do have compassion for people, because I see people go through things all the time, and it's just like, they don't know how to work through it. They don't know how to get out of it. They don't know how to, you know, maneuver. And it's just like, this is how you maneuver, because this is how I maneuver, and it worked for me.
Yeah.
So it's just like God, therapy, and just facing yourself.
Yeah.
Honestly, you have to face these things. You have to face and stop running from stuff. And the more you run, the worse it's gonna get.
It's just gonna fester.
It's gonna fester, and you're gonna blow up. You're gonna blow up like a ticking time bomb, and you just like, how did I get here? Yeah. So it's just like,
regardless, it's going to show up.
Yeah.
And it has no respective like time.
No.
At all. It's gonna show up, and it can show up in the most minute situation ever.
Yes.
And it'd be like,
where'd that come from?
Yeah.
That literally just happened to me. Like, literally. And I was just like, ooh, there's some anger in there. Where is that anger stemming from?
Yeah.
And also rejection could be like somebody not respecting you. Like they don't respect your position in their life, or they don't respect your authority that you have.
Yeah. Or boundary,
everything. The disrespect.
Yeah.
That'll set me off. That set me off. I'm not gonna say that set me off. That set me off. I ain't gonna lie. I was about to go boot. We'll set it off. Like, everybody know that's my song. But no, so
it used to be mine.
Looking back on it,
I was listening to it. I had to.
I understood that song in a minute. I'm gonna change.
Yeah, I had to.
Yeah. Because also too, the music that we listen to plays a part in our emotions as well. They can drive us to do crazy things. They can just drive us to be like, where did this come from? Like, what type of behavior is this? So yeah,
I try and limit like what I listen to. I'm gonna be honest, like within the past year, even in the car, I just kind of now start to like roll in silence. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because then that gives me the time to figure out like, you know, what am I feeling, and be able to sit with those emotions,
and
or
check in with yourself.
Right. Or even be able to, you know, like you said, if somebody crossed my boundary or I felt disrespected, be able to formulate the words and calm down enough to be able to address you and say, because I try and play like nowadays I try and play like the 24-hour rule of like, let me address it. Yeah. Because if it doesn't get addressed within like 24 hours or so, you know, like somebody might not remember it, or it'd be like,
and that's a good rule.
Yeah, you'd be like, you still on that? Do you know what I'm saying? Like 3, 4, 5 days later. But it's like, no, I need those moments of quiet time to be able to process and be able to like figure out what emotion it is. Do you know what I'm saying? Not like figure out the solution to the problem, because I'm also that person too. Like I'm going to figure out the solution. Do you know what I'm saying? Right. And how can I get over that hump a little bit quicker than going through it? But I like therapy taught me like no, you're gonna have to like sit with it, go through it, you know. And if you keep pushing it to the back burner, like we said, it's gonna keep. Hi, tap, tap, tap. How are you? It's gonna show up in
other areas.
Yeah, so
it's gonna show up in other situations.
Yeah, with that music, like I noticed with the music, like I was in the what do I call it? TTG stage, train to go, like always. I was in the TTG in the moment, like I was always ready. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I was ready, and I was like, I don't want to approach my days and approach people like always on 10. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it has nothing to do with you, but I'm approaching you on a 10 already, you know?
Yes.
And so the music, and even down to like what I watch, it's like I gotta kind of.
You definitely have to be careful with your eye gates and your ear gates, what you watch, what you hear, because those things, it's a portal. Like, we opening portals to the things that we're exposed to. And then it's like, it affects your behavior, it affects your actions, it affects how you treat people, it affects everything. You're like, why am I so rah-rah? Like, no, it's 8 o'clock. Rah-rah. And now I'm to the point where I listen to gospel in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, I play gospel on my way to work, I play gospel in the morning, because that's my time with God. Like, I want to spend time with God. And I just owe him that time.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
So it's like, for real, I start my mornings off giving that time to God, because when you start your day off with God, that like helps you have a good day. Even though you might go through stuff during your day, but it's like that fresh start to just reset your mind of I got this. And I just feel like honestly you should include God throughout your day. morning, on your breaks,
And
at night, whatever.
Yeah, that's literally how, like I said, if I'm not listening to music, it's more so like, this sounds kind of crazy, but y'all, I'm not crazy. Like, literally talk and have a conversation with him, like out loud, like open my mouth, like, God, you know, like, how, you know, help me with, you know, this and this today. First of all, thank you for just waking me up this morning. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, before I say help me with anything, you know what I'm saying? But like, then I'll get into, you know, just having a conversation, a real conversation. And it has helped, because it's like, you know, okay, all right, reveal to me this, you know, help me with this emotion. You know what I'm saying? And then, like you said, throughout my day, sometimes I may not listen to music at all, and I just keep having a continuous conversation. Like, all right, I'm back in my car, you know, class was good or whatever, but can you help me with X, Y, Z? Like, you know, just still having that conversation and not losing that connection, because sometimes we can still get caught up even in listening to, you know, I'm not saying that this is a bad thing, listening to like all the sermons and, you know, all the like music, that we try and like substitute that as a conversation. And it's like, no, he wants to hear your voice.
Facts.
Like, not, you know, what, Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts and all that, you know, Marvin Sapp. No, I don't want to hear you. What is like the words in your heart.
He wants you to be authentically you. Like, when I talk to God, I be like, Lord, this happened today, and it really hurt my feelings. It really pissed me off. It really made me mad. It really hurt my, like, whatever. Like, and this is how I felt about it. And how am I supposed to get through this? Like, literally, we could be talking. My main place is in the shower. Like, that's how
I've heard a lot of people say that.
That's what we commune at. That's what I, you know. But or in just the bed. Like, I feel like my room is my sanctuary, because I pray a lot in there. And sometimes I could just be laying in bed and just talking to God, like, you know, I got rejected through this, and it's really making me feel like this, and it's really hurting me, and how am I supposed to get through this, and also still respect the person, because it's like, at the end of the day, you still gotta respect the person. Like, how do I still respect the person and be loving, love thy neighbor? Like, how am I supposed to do that? And I feel this way. So we be getting real, and we be getting real. I be getting real with God. I be like, look, and that's how He wants us to be, because you can't fake it with Him. He already, first of all, He already knows everything. He sees all. He knows all.
But He's like, can you bring it to me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's like can you bring it to me? Like, I want to hear it from you. Like, I need you to, because you know,
you gotta get it out your heart.
And also come to terms with it. Like, okay, I actually feel that way. You know, because sometimes we'll try and like, I don't think that's how. Like, or you know, deny how we're feeling. It's like, no, that's how you really feel. Let God deal with it. Feel. Like feel. Feel. And so literally, it's one of those things where we think that a conversation means like we're constantly praying. That's one avenue. You know what I'm saying? But like, you can literally just speak out loud. Like,
he'll speak back.
Like like you're talking to a friend. You know what I mean? Just, hey.
That's the type of relationship you want to have. Like, I just thought about this song, I'm a friend of God. Like, that's the relationship you want to have, where you're able to commune with Him. Like, He abides in you, you abide in Him. Like, you have that place where you can talk to Him and get real with Him. Without the fakeness, without the fake voice, without the this. It's just authentically you standing before God. Like, that is the most intimate thing ever. Like, that is like the most intimate connection I've ever had in my life.
Because when I was dealing with like heavy rejection, I would say that most of my conversations, like I say, take place in the car. And I would find myself like just driving and like tears are just like coming. And I'm like, but I didn't even think I was going to cry. But like, it was one of those things of, you know, just talking and talking and talking. And then I'm like, God, just comfort me. Like, wrap your arms around me, because right now, like, I feel so alone. I feel, you know, like I'm like I said, I'm belittling myself. I feel so, just like
I feel low. I feel worthless.
Yeah.
Even though I know I'm not.
Yeah. But it's like, just
this is what,
help me. Like, please just help me. And so after, having those conversations, the days, like you said, days are going to end, and they got better and better and better. And then it was just like, okay, well, having a laughing conversation. And I'm like, people probably are looking at me thinking I'm talking on the phone, but who cares? Like,
the show,
like whatever, So it gets better, but like those conversations can look different for different people. Like, it can look like journaling. It could look like, like I said, having a whole conversation, in the shower, in the car, wherever. But I really encourage like taking that time, especially if you're dealing with like rejection and all those feels, because it's not something that you can get through alone. Like, you gotta have your support system. Like, if it wasn't for God and my support system and my circle,
probably in the bed with the covers on.
Yeah.
Giving up on everything. Like, it's real.
Like, so, it's very real.
It's real out here in the streets. But I just want to let you guys know that if you face a rejection, like, talk through it, talk to somebody, lean on your support system, go to God if you have a relationship with Him, and if you don't, find you a community that can help you through what you're going through. Like, nobody needs to go through, well, sometimes we do need to go through stuff alone, because God just wants us by ourselves. But sometimes, okay, I need a support, whether it's a therapist, community, friends that give good advice. Friends that give good advice. But yeah, your parents or whoever you feel close to talk to. Like, don't let rejection, shape you and make all your experiences negative when they don't have to be, or they can get negative and you don't really know how to navigate through it. So I'm just here. We're here. I appreciate you being here with me. This was a good episode. Honestly, we just went at it and look at it. Like,
I was nervous for what?
You're nervous for what? It's in you, like,
because it's such a heavy topic.
It is,
and people don't talk about it. And like you said, like, still dealing with the healing of that. And again, there's no like time limit or time frame that you can put on that healing. And so for me, it was just like, am I ready? Am I actually ready to talk about this? Because it's just one of those things of, I mean, we always like to, put on the strong front. Oh, we didn't go through nothing and all of that, and or not everybody knows what we went through. So it's just, one of those things of, am I actually ready for that?
Right.
But what I will say is, deal with your rejection, deal with the abandonment, deal with the anger, deal with it all, because I'm gonna be honest, it's so freeing to be able to say like, okay, yeah, that happened, or yeah, these situations happen, but like, I'm on a path of healing right now from them, and I feel lighter and I feel better, and I can talk about it now without like boo-hoo crying, without like showing any type of like, vengeance or anger or anything. So it's one of those things. It's freeing. Like, free yourself up of that stuff, because you don't want your heart to be hardened. You don't want to sit here and be like a mopey grump all day, or like, no. So I would go through it. It's definitely worth it. I mean, and
this is why Have to Fool was created, because it was created to have conversations just like this. Because in our community, we don't have the outlets and the avenues to have these conversations, to get to the root of what's really going on, or people not really wanting to hear this type of stuff because they're still triggered by it, or they're still traumatized from stuff. But it's like, we have to have these conversations. Like, we have to get real with one another about these topics. And this is a safe space. This is a freeing space. This is a healing space. This is my space. Okay? This is my space. Okay. This is my platform. But it's to create an avenue for people to feel safe and feel comfortable and ask questions You know, you guys can email me your questions at halfthefullpodcast@gmail.com, and we can answer them on the pod. Like, I will do a Q&A. But yeah, this is the space to let the emotions flow. Even if we cry on here, I don't care. Like,
okay?
I will grab the box of tissue.
Right.
Because it's just like, some of us need to cry.
Yeah.
It's a sense of release. It's a sense of release. It's okay to cry, women and men.
Okay.
It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to cry. It doesn't make you less than. It doesn't make you lesser of a woman or a man to cry or express your emotions. But you just gotta know, we gotta know how to control them and be respectful and navigate through them.
Yeah.
But this was a good episode. I really enjoyed this.
Same.
And you know, I hope you guys enjoyed this as well. This is, again, Half the Full Podcast. Follow me on Instagram at Half the Full Podcast. Email me, again, at our email address, halfthefullpodcast@gmail.com. And follow me on my personal page if you want to, at Ricky Aman. I am Ricky Aman. So, yes. So, we love you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.